In the searing deserts of ancient Persia, where the sun hung like a molten coin in the sky and the sands whispered the secrets of long-dead civilizations, there was a legend so terrifying that to speak of it was to invite doom. This was the tale of the Manticore, a creature whose very name, man-eater, struck fear into the hearts of all who heard it. The Manticore was not merely a beast, it was a nightmare given flesh, a monstrosity born from the darkest corners of the earth. Its body, a sinewy mass of red, rippled with the power of a lion, every movement a testament to the lethal grace of the predator. But this was no ordinary lion. Its skin, a ghastly crimson, glistened like blood under the unforgiving sun, and where its majestic mane should have been, there was only the twisted visage of a man, yet not quite a man. The face was eerily human, with piercing blue eyes that gleamed with a malevolent intelligence, but the features were wrong, twisted into a grotesque mockery of humanity. And then there was its tail, an abomination, a scorpion's stinger, curled and coiled with deadly intent. This tail, sleek and segmented, was capable of firing venomous darts with deadly precision, each one tipped with a poison that could bring even the mightiest of warriors to their knees in agony. But the most horrifying aspect of the Manticore was its voice. It spoke with a sweetness that belied its monstrous nature, a voice as smooth as honey, as beguiling as a lover's whisper. Those who heard it would stop in their tracks, entranced by its haunting melody, not knowing that this was the final lullaby they would ever hear. For within its jaws, hidden behind that charming voice, were 3 rows of razor-sharp fangs, designed to tear flesh from bone with terrifying efficiency. This creature, this nightmare, was no mere wanderer of the desert. The Manticore was a hunter, its lair a labyrinth of burrows carved deep beneath the earth where no light could penetrate. From these depths, it would emerge, a blur of crimson and shadow, moving with an unnatural speed that left its prey no chance to escape. The sands would shift, the wind would howl, and then there would be silence, only the Manticore's eerie song echoing in the void where life once was. The legend of the Manticore had been passed down through generations, whispered by the wise and the fearful alike. The earliest accounts, dating back to the 5th century BCE, spoke of a creature so fearsome that even the bravest warriors trembled at the thought of facing it. Tales spread across the ancient world, from the burning deserts of Persia to the bustling markets of Mesopotamia, and even to the distant courts of medieval Europe. In the dead of night, around campfires that flickered like dying stars, travelers would recount the story of the Manticore. They would speak of how it had decimated entire caravans, leaving nothing behind but bones, stripped bare and bleached white by the sun. They would tell of its unquenchable hunger for human flesh, its insatiable desire to feast on the unwary who dared venture into its domain. But perhaps the most chilling accounts came from those who claimed to have heard the Manticore's voice, that haunting melody that lured victims to their doom. One story spoke of a village that had vanished overnight, its inhabitants drawn into the desert by the Manticore's song, never to be seen again. Another told of a knight who had ventured into the beast's lair, armed with a sword said to be blessed by the gods themselves. He never returned, and his bones were later found scattered in the sand, a grim testament to the Manticore's power. Despite its fearsome reputation, the Manticore remained an elusive figure, a shadow that slipped through the cracks of history, always retreating into the darkness before it could be captured or slain. Scholars and hunters alike sought the creature, driven by the promise of fame and fortune, but none ever returned. The Manticore was a ghost, a phantom that haunted the edges of the known world, a reminder of the horrors that lay just beyond the reach of civilization. And so, the legend of the Manticore endured, growing with each retelling, a story that refused to die. It became a symbol of the unknown, a warning of the dangers that lurked in the shadows, waiting to claim the unwary. Even as the world changed, as empires rose and fell, the Manticore remained a creature of myth, a monster of nightmares, a terror that would never be forgotten. In the deserts of Persia, where the sands still shift and the wind still howls, the Manticore is said to roam, a red shadow against the dying light, its song echoing in the distance. And those who hear it know that death is near, for the Manticore is eternal, and its hunger will never be sated.